Everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel and I hope everyone is doing fine. So today we are going to discuss about a very important topic in PySpark, which is how to assign null values in PySpark. Okay. So let's start with some simple example. Okay. Let's say you have a requirement and you want to pass some null values in a column. Okay. So as you can see on my screen, here I am trying to create some manual data frame. Okay. And now let's say you want to pass some null values in a column. Okay. So what's the first point that comes to your mind? Okay, I want to pass simply null values, so I can simply write null. Okay. So now let's try to execute this and see whether we are getting null value in our data or not. Okay. So let me just execute it simply. Okay. So as you can see, we are getting one name error and it is saying null is not defined. Okay. But why it is saying so? The reason is we are working with PySpark here, right? And in PySpark, the PySpark it is built using Python, correct? And in Python, there is nothing called as null. Okay, there is nothing called as null in Python, right? But instead of null, we have none in Python, which has the same meaning as null. So none in Python means missing values or null, nothing, right? So in Python, you have none keyword, you don't have something called as null there. Okay, so that's the reason if you try to pass null here you are getting this error because there is nothing called as null in Python, correct? So now if I try to execute this, let's see what will happen. So as you can see, right, now I am getting a null, right? But why this none gets converted to null? The reason is very simple, because Spark internally converts this none to null. Okay, I hope this points are clear to you, right? The first point was why we can't pass null. We can't pass null because there is nothing called as null in Python. Instead, we have none keyword there. So using none keyword, you can pass null. And why this none gets converted to null? Because Spark internally converts this none to null. Okay. So I hope these 2 points are clear to you, right? So if someone asks you how you can you pass null, just simply tell them none. We can pass the null using none keyword. Why? Because in Python we have none keyword, which has the meaning of missing values or null, right? There is nothing called as null in Python. That's why you can't simply pass null there, right? Okay, now let's move forward. So in the next cell, you can see I'm just trying to create one new column. Okay, and in that column, I simply want to pass the null values. So here I'm using the none keyword, as you can see, right? So it will assign null values to all the values in all the records, as you can see, right? What will happen if I just pass null here? It will give me the same error as above. It was giving name error because null is not defined, right? So I hope this is clear to you, right? Whenever you want to pass null value, you will simply go and type none. Okay. Okay. Now let's move to the next cell. And in the next cell, as you can see, I am. How can we filter null value or how can we replace null value? So for filtering null value, we have this filter method, right? And if you want to filter null values, then in Spark we have this method dot isNull. So on whatever column you want to filter, let's say here on name column I want to filter the null values, right? So we'll simply type column dot isNull. Okay, it will give you the null values if that column contains. Okay, so let me just show you and execute this. So as you can see, it gave me the record which is having null value in the name column, right? So now let's move to the next part. Let's say you have a requirement where you want to replace the null values with some meaningful name. Okay. So here let's say I want to replace null value in the name column with my name Radul. So what you will do, we have a method in Spark which is called fillna. So fillna, it will what it does, it simply replaces the null value, okay, with the value that you provide. So here what it will do, it will replace the null value with Radul, okay, in the name column. And for providing the column name, you can use a subset. Okay, you can use any number of columns there. So in those columns, it will replace the values whatever you are providing. Okay, so here I simply want to replace the null values in the name column. So in the subset, I will just simply provide the name and a column name. Okay. So let me just execute this and see. So as you can see, it replaced the null value with my name Radul, right? So that's how you can replace the null values also. Okay. So I hope you understand the concept, right? And if you like the video, please subscribe to my channel and comment on the video and share it also. We will meet in the next video with some interesting topic. Okay. Till then, goodbye.